Hey guys, Pakioni back again. Sorry if there's sound in the background. That is just a humidifier, I think. And my cat just going crazy. But this time I'm just here to talk about the Apex tier list. Knowing me, I am not the best when it comes to Apex. Shit, I still get shot down half the times from third party after third party after third party. You know the gist of Apex Legends. But I just came up with this tier list just based off of my experience from playing since Season 3, only recently getting better, knowing not to aim at close combat. But regardless to say, here's my list. And I'm going to start off with the 3 worst legends in the game. It's going to be Octane, Rampart, Loba. Octane literally is just replaced entirely by what's her name again? Yeah, Horizon, based off of her tactical. Her tactical is just the lift jump, controlled, better distance, and it's loaded up every 21 seconds, I believe, which beats out his ultimate, honestly. Not to mention just going fast and playing as him for last season. Yeah, the mindset of like those characters is just to run and blitz, which is literally offering no team utility, which is really a part of what makes a character really high tier in my opinion. Then we have Rampart. I honestly would argue she is the worst character in the game. Based solely on the fact of her whole strategy is to stand still, secure a location, and use a gun to shoot down opponents in a game completely based off of movement. Oh, Christ. And again, outside of just placing the gates, she lacks any offensive or defensive utility, especially when it comes into an actual gunfight where she's not on her cannon, which means you would have to dedicate all your resources to protecting her. And then Loba. She has no team utility herself. Her tactical is just to escape, and that got nerfed too for whatever reason, which was very dumb, honestly. Plus, the fact that throwing her teleport, she has to stay still or keep moving, and she's literally a wide open target for attacks. So, yeah, plus her ultimate is only good at 2 points of the game. Early game, when you need to loot up material, and end game, after you've like beaten up a crew or stuff like that, killed off one squad, and trying to take their loot quickly. But even at that point, the ultimate won't really be that good if you end up in an area with barely any loot. So yeah, that ends the list for the D tier, which I would believe are the 3 worst legends. Now, some people might argue with the C tier, and that's gonna be Revenant and Wattson. Okay, people are gonna be like, no, Wattson's like the best counter pick. That's it. That's all she is. A counter pick. Outside of like battles with Fuse, again, locking down a location. But there's a character above the list that does better and does it offensively. Her fences, you can just shoot at the bottom as well. But still, they only deal a short amount of shield damage and not much stun. Not to mention the fact that her ultimate does not really repair your shield. You're better off, especially with this meta, using like, what do you call it, a shield or a battery. And then just healing up your entire shield, especially if you have red Evo. So, yeah, and when she's in combat, yeah, she'll just get melted very easily. Revenant, if we're talking about his tactical, if I'm in a gunfight, I'm gonna shoot somebody rather than stop myself and try to shoot a blast that will seal off their abilities. You're most likely gonna do that when you're in the middle of a third party at that. But if I'm in a gunfight, best believe I'm just pulling out like massive and blasting somebody's head off. The death totem is a great asset, however. That's where most of his utility comes from. The ability to leave and then run forward at an unlimited distance now with a short timer, and it's like a second life. However, if you get jumped with that, your opponents can use that ability too, which is actually really bad. So, yeah. Plus, the high climbing ability is kind of irrelevant now, especially when, again, being able to get to high places. Horizon does that much better, and it can be used by everybody on the team. Yeah. Next, we're on to the B tier. Crypto and Mirage. Crypto, I would have to argue, he was close to being an A tier character for me, based on the fact that the drone is actually really amazing. Hell, you can leave it up in places, maybe a hard to reach place where they can't shoot it, And as people pass by, it'll just scan them. And hell, we're in a meta right now where it's just evos. Being able to crack a team's full red evo is amazing. However, if you're too close, yeah, you're gonna get shocked by it too, which is rather honestly bad in my opinion. Second off, his character also has to be guarded heavily to surveillance an entire area. Granted, it has way more potential than Bloodhound's like tactical, but still, being stuck in that drone and having it shut down is kind of meh. And then Mirage. Mirage is oddly enough in a weird place for B tier. I feel like he has potential to be S tier if somebody is good enough with the character. And I have not seen anybody with that skill cap, at least from what I've been playing so far. Granted, being able to revive Invisible is amazing, whether it be just picking up a teammate or reviving with a banner. Hell, Crypto revives people quicker as well with that drone. But again, you would be able, if you play the game long enough, to figure out which one is a dupe out of the ultimates. In the first few seconds, if you're not just shooting like crazy, you'll be able to figure out which one is the real one, because there is a second delay when it comes to that. So yeah, Mirage would definitely be B tier. A tier, there's a lot of characters there. We've got Pathfinder because mobility. That grapple is amazing, especially now that within distance, it can just go from a few seconds to maybe 20 seconds, which I think is really good, honestly. Granted, it's not the OP 15 seconds every time, which was very stupid, honestly, but being able to fling yourself very quickly to a location can give you the upper hand, especially getting high ground, which this game, high ground usually means victory, honestly. Plus the team utility coming from his ultimate as well, which allows you to just zip line to whatever location you need in and out very quickly, especially if you're like, say, looting in Storm or trying to get to a battle or leave an area quickly. Then we have Bloodhound. Bloodhound just benefits so well with that scan, especially in wide open maps, such as the ones we have now, which are Olympus and Kings Canyon. Plus, the ultimate gives the highest speed boost imaginable right now, and being able to track people through smoke and tracking their footprints is phenomenal as well. Then we have, who else? People may debate me on this one, but what's her name again? Bangalore. Bangalore has not really seen any changes to her kit, and it honestly doesn't really need any changes. Hell, I think she might be contending for the best in A tier at the moment, based off of how solid her kit is. She has the smoke, which can be used offensively and defensively. Defensively, if you're trying to revive or cover up your location. Offensively, if you're trying to blast at your opponents to confuse them. This also allows you to crack shots on them, especially if you have a sight that, like a gold sight, which allows you to see thermal, which really works out pretty well. Being spotted and shot at allows you to get that speed boost as well, which is really quick and helped me get out of a lot of situations. Not to mention the fact that our ultimate is pretty much a goddamn, like, nuke on the battlefield. I really don't see an actual weakness in her kit, honestly. She does everything exceptionally well. And that's just meeting up with the quota, honestly, for the game. And then we also have Lifeline, who was at the beginning okay, but now has become a battle medic. She can create cover just by reviving people. And her character doesn't even really need to carry that many, like what do you call it, medkits or anything like that, based off of her tactical lasting, only taking about a minute to recharge and stuff like that. Plus her ultimate, which could be a dead giveaway to your location if you're using it in the wrong hands, will allow you to also just grab loot and material very quickly, which can definitely be a game changer. Hell, I've gotten some gold stuff off of that as well. And then, let's see. Oh, that's the whole list for the A tier. Lastly, S tier. Some may argue that Wraith right now is definitely A tier. I've heard some idiots say B tier. Yeah, idiots. Anyway, I still think that despite her hitbox being bigger, it's still relatively small compared to most people's hitboxes. Granted, you won't be able to cheese your way out of every gunfight, but the fact of the matter is, her tactical is pretty amazing, as long as you use it properly. And it allows you to get out of storm without taking any damage, allows you to not take damage as well, and allows you to get out of areas very quickly in gunfights as well. Then we have our ultimate, which is also similar to, what do you call it? Pathfinders, but it works even for down people. So you can just create cover, use that, have your people go into that as well, and it gets you into hard to reach places, and that works out phenomenally. So yeah, and lastly, being able to tell if you're being aimed at allows you to figure out where you are and what cover you need to get for your character. Then, of course, we have, what's his name? Yeah, Fuse. Fuse is phenomenal. Just for the fact that we're in a grenade meta right now. Being able to carry 2 grenades per inventory slot, improved grenade accuracy, and the fact that his ultimate and tactical just do a shit ton of damage really well, when paired with, what do you call it? What's his name? Caustic. Caustic's also A tier. I forgot to mention him. Caustic is absolutely the most offensive defensive player right now. Yeah, who does health damage. But yeah, pairing his ultimate with that person's ultimate literally covers the entire area and kills your opponents instantly. And then we also have, of course, Horizon. Horizon, again, replacing so many legends with just a tactical alone. Being able to reduce, like, fall lag. And, of course, the ultimate that pulls everybody together, just killing them instantly. As long as you get your shots in. And hopefully you get your shots in and are not an idiot. Yeah, so, of course, she's S tier still, even with a slight debuff, making her tactical only 21 seconds instead of, like, the 12 seconds. And then, last but not least, Gibraltar, because of the fact that I hate that bastard, especially if he gets a red Evo. He literally is a fucking tank. And I sometimes feel like I had to hit him with not 1 nuke, but 2 nukes just to get him down. That gun shield alone allows you to not need to strafe, and if you're using, and especially since you're aiming with it, if you use a Mastiff in tandem with that, you're literally taking down your opponents for free. He is the ultimate 1v2, hell, even 1v3. I've seen that happen before. Plus having the dome shield, which allows you to cover ground, heal people, get people back up, avoid gunshots as well, despite it showing off your location. And then the ultimate hitting like Bangalore's. I'm just like, fuck this bastard. Fuck this Hawaiian bastard. But other than that, that's just my thoughts on the tier list. Please, if you feel like it, debate me in the comments below. I'm not the best when it comes to Apex, but I'd love to hear other people's opinion. Also, it'd be amazing if you'd like, maybe subscribe to a brother, maybe. Give me content ideas. Hell, I'll make videos. I'm just a small creator as it is, just trying to make it big. And I'd like to see you guys in the next video. This is Pacchioni, signing out.